That we're all good to go for 2010, and here we are today in central London, announcing it. Yeah, not really much else to say. I think everyone else knows kind of, what's been going on, and obviously that it was always a difficult situation going to be trying to leave Garmin, because I had a great time there and was surrounded by a lot of friends and close relationships with the riders and some of the backroom staff there. But there was only ever going to be one team that I would leave that team for, and that was, of course, to come home to Sky and Dave and pretty much everyone who's helped me to my Olympic success.
But
yeah, one.
Fantastic news, first of all. This is the news that all British cycling fans have been waiting for. A question for both of you, really. Bradley, Dave Avaudian is, to produce the first ever British winner of the Tour de France within 5 years. Do you think you're the rider to be able to do that, and do you have the team behind you?
I think the same sort of mindset we take onto this project really is the same as we've always done with the track, and it's just to be, results aside, is to be the best we can possibly be for whatever the goal is. And if the goal next year is the Tour de France, then it will be to be as best possible condition as possible for July. And not just myself, everything around us, the team, the backroom staff, and yeah, I think we'll see. I mean, like I say, results aside, it's just to be as good as possible. There's a lot that will go into winning something like the Tour de France, but it won't be for the ones who try.
I'd just reiterate what Brad said. Our philosophy has always been about everybody trying to support the riders to be the best that they can be. And if their best is good enough to win the Tour de France, then that's fantastic. There's a dream, and we'll work around targets, we'll work around things that we can control. And certainly from a backroom staff point of view, we'll all be there supporting and looking at the ways that we can improve and help Brad's performance and every other rider's performance to be the best they can be. But my personal opinion is the best that Brad Wiggins can be is very close to the top of the Tour de France project. So yeah, it's very, very exciting.
So you mentioned it just being a bit of a homecoming. Brad, you've spoken in the past about the difficulty of starting out on the road, having to go to the continent, starting out as a Brit abroad, if you like. Just what does it mean to have a British-based team now behind you, and indeed a team that many of the members of which you know very well and work very closely with? How much of a difference they got to make to you?
Yeah, I think, well, everyone knows kind of where the track cycling's gone to from 10 years ago, being pretty much a team that used to pack our own bikes and go to World Championships, and almost back in Atlanta when they were almost paying for themselves to go to the most dominant force in track cycling, and taking that philosophy and the infrastructure and everything, the way they went about doing that onto the road and trying to conquer the pro cycling stage is, this team wants to be the biggest and the best and the most admired team in the world, and it's the first British Pro Tour team, and to be part of that from the start is going to be something quite special, and I'm just looking forward to getting 2010 underway now and putting 2009 behind us now, and in the history books, and getting on with next year. So.
Bradley, as you said yourself, it's been a long drawn-out process. It seems it was never going to happen. Did you always believe in your heart of hearts that it was going to happen?
I stayed away from it, to be honest, because I've got a great team behind me and management company that have been handling this from day one, and I was just racing till mid-October really. So I kind of, my attentions were elsewhere really, and yeah, I kind of just. Until yesterday, until we had the confirmation from the UCI Pro Tour Council that we were good to go, and I still believed as late as last weekend that I'd be with Garmin next year. And like I say, I stayed away from the whole kind of ins and outs of it all, and just let the people behind the scenes get on with it. So.
You said not so long ago that to win the Champions League you needed to be at Manchester United, and you felt as if you were playing for Wiggins. Do you now feel as if you are at the Manchester United of road racing? Yeah,
and I said that with the deepest affection really. My whole family from Wigan, and they're a good team, a Premiership team, and close to my heart, my family's heart. Not that I'm a Wigan fan, but I could have perhaps used a different analogy. But yeah, like I said before, this team wants to be the biggest, the best, and the most admired team. You just look at the setup behind us with the bike, and the bike looks like the best bike on the Pro Tour circuit at the moment. that's kind of, you know, whether it's Ferrari in Formula One, Manchester United in football, you know, those teams, and this team aspires to be something on that stage and become a brand and everything, and that's kind of more exciting, you know, exciting to be part of that.
Yeah, the Tour de France is quite clear. Is for me, I have to have the bar quite hard to want me to get out of bed in the morning and do it really. And being on the tour last year, I realised that it's certainly the only race that matters now really.
Was it hard to negotiate your way out of your contract because Garmin was very
I
keen to
had
keep
nothing to do with it, to be honest. I was so tied up with racing right until mid-October that kind of my management team behind the scenes were involved quite heavily with doing all that. So I, even as late as last weekend, I still thought I'd be with Garmin next year. And, you know, the only confirmation only came through yesterday, as late as 3 o'clock.
So when did that process start?
Well, from the minute I stepped off the bike in Paris, I guess. Obviously, there was no. Dave made no secret of the fact that he, you know, wanted me in this team from the tour onwards, and I think it kind of was rolling then. Really.
When did you decide that you wanted to be on this team as well?
Well, I mean, from the early stages. I mean, I sat in Newport at the holding camp before the Olympics, before I was even with Garmin, and we were talking about, you know, he showed me a fax that he'd had from Sky that he had this money and it wasn't guaranteed, and you know, he was going to run this team, and he wanted me to be involved with it from the start, and you know, and we was talking about different riders that could be on the team, and so right from the start, and obviously I had to make a decision before the Olympics because I had a contract with Garmin, and it was a team that I'd admired from afar and wanted to be involved with, and I had to make a decision because obviously it wasn't guaranteed that this Sky thing was ever going to happen. So I went to Garmin, and that was that really. But yeah, certainly from the start, Dave and myself, really, it was always something that if I was ever going to, as I said before, if I was ever going to leave Garmin, a team that was happy at and thought I'd spend the rest of my career at, it was always going to be for this really.
And how much of a lift